Great Depression was one of the darkest economic times in American history. With unemployment rates reaching 25%, millions of people struggled to find jobs and provide for their families. For those who lost their jobs, life became a daily fight for survival. Without a steady income, many were left homeless, hungry, and desperate for hours. Some built makeshift homes in areas known as Hoovervilles, using scrap materials to create shelter. Others traveled across the country in search of work, only to face more challenges along the way.
Millions of Americans lost their jobs with no savings, no safety net, and no place to go. Although that might seem bad, African Americans were affected even more by the Great Depression. Without a steady income, many were unable to afford food or shelter. Families were forced to live in overcrowded conditions or in Hoovervilles, shanty towns made from metal, wood, and cardboard.
For those who fell ill, the situation was even worse. Without jobs, they couldn't afford health care and suffered without medical care. And for some, the job search was even harder. African Americans and older workers faced discrimination, making it nearly impossible to find jobs. Luckily, with the New Deal policies, the Great Depression would slowly come to an end.
With no help and no work, families were forced to make hard decisions. Some split up, sending their children to live with relatives, while others packed up everything they owned and migrated across the country in search for jobs. But hope was hard to find. Cities were overcrowded with people trying to find jobs, and the competition for work was fierce. People lined up for hours just to get the chance at a single position.
And those who found temporary jobs were paid very little, just barely enough to survive. And the cycle of poverty continued with no clear way out. Unemployment wasn't just an economic problem. It was a crisis that changed the lives of an entire generation.
Millions of Americans were struggling, so when Franklin D. Roosevelt became president, he immediately took action, creating the New Deal policies. One of the most impactful programs was the Works Progress Administration, or the WPA. It provided jobs in all fields, from construction to arts. Writers, teachers, and artists all found opportunities to work at the WPA, and the WPA employed over 8.5 million people.
Another program, the Public Work Administration, helped rebuild America by funding massive projects, highways, bridges, and tunnels, and even aircraft carriers. These projects provided many jobs for Americans in the 1930s. And for those in extreme poverty, the Federal Emergency Relief Administration stepped in. It offered direct aid to struggling families, providing jobs, healthcare, and literacy programs to help people get back on their feet.
Through perseverance, government action, and the resilience of American people, the nation slowly began to rebuild. The unemployed workers of the Great Depression faced some of the hardest challenges in U.S. history. But through the New Deal, they found opportunities to rebuild their lives and to contribute to the country's recovery.
Their story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the importance of supporting, and it served as a reminder that even in the toughest times, there is always a path forward.